men. And I use the term loosely, of course. Today may be a big day. This is going to go in there shortly. I think I'm going to do a time lapse on that for you. But first, we're going to do that thing I do where I put some oil in a funnel, hooked up to a hose, hooked up to the oil pump, and we're going to stroke the rods. Yeah, I know a lot of you want to get your rod stroked, but probably not this rod and probably not stroked this way. But anyway, oil going into the pump, and then you just do this. I think I could get it going fast enough to build up some oil pressure down here. Let's see. That's pretty good for an old man. let's slow down. Hate to do this to you, but let's slow down and let's take a look at what this clutch does when you try to release it. You hear that? I'm going to try to get the camera at a better angle so you can see what's going on. Bear with me, I'm going to have to hand hold this thing. Okay, here's the releasing ramp that's causing the problem. And what's nice about this is I could duplicate it outside the bike. Look what happens. This ball right here wants to pop back down into the detent instead of ride up along the ramp. I don't see anything obviously wrong with it. This might not be formed correctly, is what I'm seeing. But anyway, I think that's the problem. Okay, I replaced the part of the releasing mechanism that receives the cable, and the whole thing is much smoother now. Plus, it works. If I pull the clutch in, release it, I got the bike in neutral. I can now spin the clutch. You know, there's a little drag on it. I'm doing it with my hand, but it's working pretty good. So I'll engage the clutch, boom, and out she locks right up. Yeah, I think this is going to work fine now. It's time to say goodbye to this one. Came in, had 3 or 4 problems the owner wanted addressed. I was hoping to not have to rebuild the engine, not because I don't want to rebuild engines, but because, that's kind of the solution of last resort. And from the owner's description of the original problems, it seemed like maybe it could be fixed with just a top end rebuild on it, but as it turns out, not so much. The original complaints were it was making some knocking noises, it was leaking out of here, and the clutch was really dragging badly. He had a lot of stuff on it chromed, including the rocker boxes, and I thought the leak might be due to the way the chrome was applied to the rocker box. The owner opted to get the rocker boxes, the cam cover, the sprocket cover, and the primary cover unchromed. So when I got the rocker boxes back, ran a dingle ball hone through the hole and just smoothed it up a little bit, put it together. I've had it running a few times now and it doesn't leak at all. I pulled the top end off and found that the one cylinder had 7 thousandths piston to cylinder clearance and the other cylinder had pert near 10 thousandths piston to cylinder clearance. So you could have damn near put an oversized piston in the hole without doing anything to it. So that and the excess free play on the rear cylinder piston pin bushing, it was probably in the neighborhood of 10 or 15 thousandths. It's supposed to be like 1,000th. I'm sure that was probably his knocking noises. But anyway, got the top end off, saw the bottom end was pretty loose and decided, yeah, better just go ahead and go with the rebuild. There were a few cracks, needed welding, nothing of any major consequence, but a few things. In the clutch problem, one of the ball ramps on the release mechanism I don't think was shaped right, and there was kind of a hitch, and you could hear it and see it when you were operating the clutch. That should be in one of the earlier videos, but I think largely it was just out of adjustment. But all in all, this is a pretty decent project. Really one of the nicer bikes that I've gotten to work on, and I think this owner is going to be very happy with this machine. I did a wrinkle black paint job on the cylinders. Usually I just do gloss black, but I opted for wrinkle black on this one. The owner had it wrinkle black, and he liked it, so went ahead and went with the wrinkle black on it again. But anyway, this one will be leaving soon. It was fun. But anyway, it's pain in the balls. You nervous?
No. No. Not at all.
Man, and I use the term loosely. Gary here, Gary there. Gary's picking up this. He just got done taking it for a test ride. One of the nicer scooters that I've had in here. How do you like it so far?
I love it.
Cool. Cool. Let me just ask you a few things about the bike. This headlight bracket, that's pretty neat. Where'd you find that at?
I found it surfing the net.
Surfing the net. I've never seen one like that before, and I've only looked at, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 500 motorcycles in my lifetime, maybe more. I like that. That's a nice feature on that. The other thing I want to ask you about, these fender struts. There's one thing I don't like about them, which I'm going to tell you, but there's a thing I do like about them. Most of them have a little joggle right behind here. Yours are straight.
They were straight.
Where'd you find that?
V-twin.
Oh, V-twin had these. The thing I don't like about them is they're too fucking long.
Yes.
And they were chrome from V-twins?
Yes.
See, this is what pisses me off about V-twin stuff. If I was buying this, I preferred that it arrived unchrome. And I'd have cut the end off over here and welded it in so you don't have this extra, 1.5 or 2 inches sticking out. And I'd have probably welded in and ground down this extra hole over here so you didn't have to look at it. But yeah, very nice. And you have Avon tires on here. Whoa. You have Avon tires on here. And Avons are really the only 16 by 5 tire I found that fit up under the fender. So did you buy these on purpose for clearance?
No, I bought those because Avon's what would have been out in '72.
Ah, okay. Yeah, and that's a true statement. And I do a lot of bikes, kind of, and guys ask me, and on my own bikes, I usually go with the Avon because I work on 70 Sportsters, and Avon's front and back would have been period correct on this thing. Having built it, is there anything you'd have done different now that it's more or less done? And I say more or less done because you got something like this, you're always tinkering with it, yeah?
Yeah, will be. The oil tank, putting a battery in it's going to be a pain. I'll have to take that tank out.
Uh-huh.
And in hindsight, I should have found a round aluminum tank to put in there.
Okay, yeah.
Or made one big enough to hold 4 quarts that would fit this spot.
Yeah, well, you know, and as the guy who was working on it, I agree with you because I cussed you out when I had to take the tank out to get the battery out. And I cussed you out when I put the tank back in. And I had to rework one of the brackets on there, not a big deal. But when I really started cussing you out was when I had to screw the fucking battery terminals on it. I was really tempted to leave those off and say, hey, when you get here, show me how you hook those fuckers up.
Patiently.
Yeah, I bet.
You know, there's a horn hidden up in there somewhere.
You know, and I tested the horn and I heard it tweet, and I couldn't find the fucking horn. I hit the button and it's squeaking. I'm like, where the fuck is that son of a bitch? And it's way back up underneath here. Yeah, that's good because one of the problems with building a custom Sportster is there's no leftover room on these things. They're very, very tight motorcycles. It's, you know, there's no extra room to stick horns or voltage regulators or starter relays or any of that other hacky horse shit that goes with them. So yeah, that's an issue. Yeah, oil tank, I like the way it looks. It's nice, it's clean, it works pretty well. It doesn't seem like it holds a lot of oil though, does it?
I think it holds a solid 3 quarts.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Because you gave me 4 quarts and there's a little bit left of 1 quart because the tranny holds 24 ounces. So probably put 3 in there, I don't know, 2.5 or 3, I don't know, I think the oil's probably up to here. I don't fill them up all the way because, you know, the vents are on that side, and if you get it up too high, it'll run down through the vent lines back into the crankcase. But yeah, so you, over the years, have built quite a few bikes, haven't you?
Well, yeah, sort of. I haven't done anything big to the motor like you do.
Uh-huh.
I can do top ends and, you know, tune the carburetor, dial them in real well. But I can't. I can put cams in. You know, I can do that stuff. Clutches, but I can't get into the bottom end and the rods and
yeah,
the cases.
And there's probably a lot of people who get into that probably shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You know, I get a lot of questions directed to me from my website and the YouTube videos, and I had a guy ask me one time, he had taken the bottom of the end apart, he was trying to put it back together again, and he wanted to know whether the fork rod went on the front or the back. And I'm thinking, buddy, if those are the kinds of questions you're asking me, you
need to stop.
You're in just a little bit over your head, you know? But anyway, that's some guys. But yeah, this thing really runs pretty good. You got one of these CV copy carburetors on it, I do believe. And, you know, it really runs pretty good. After I got it running initially, I tweaked the idle speed a little tiny bit, and I went up underneath there to turn the idle mixture screw. And I turned it about a quarter turn one way, it didn't seem to do much. I turned it about a quarter turn the other way, it didn't seem to do much. I put it back in the middle, left it alone, and I figured you'd be just the guy to fuck with that if it needs a little tweaking after it's running.
Sometimes it's just, with these, it's not even a quarter of a turn.
Oh.
It's more like the width of a screwdriver.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good.
But you know, these are supposed to support up to 94, 96 horsepower.
Well, I believe it. I definitely believe it. They're big enough on there, you know. And the CV, one of the things I always bitch about is guys put S&S on there, and I think S&Ss are just a little too big for the bike. And you don't have a lot of velocity because the throat is so big. You don't have a lot of air velocity. But with the CV and the variable Venturi over there, Venturi on it, the velocity of air through the car stays pretty high, which helps your atomization and mixture and all that. So these are probably really not a bad choice for Sportsters. But anyway, yeah, nice bike. I like it, man. You did a hell of a job on it. The guy who did the paint, do you think he wants to be mentioned on YouTube?
Sure.
Go ahead and mention him.
Steve Slater. He's in Corsicana, out in the country. He does great work. He's been in Easy Riders quite a few times. So that's it. That's what it looks like.
I'll put the telephone number, his telephone number down below in the description of this video. And if you're also inclined, give him a call, get a paint job. This was a pretty affordable paint job too, as I understand it, yeah?
Yeah, it's real affordable. And I won't mention the price, but compared to other people, yes, it's very affordable. And I opened the door when we were talking about what I wanted with this, and he could have charged me what he wanted. I was ready to let him do it. He's painted 2 of my bikes already, so yeah, go to him. He didn't try to rob me. He was extremely fair.
Cool beans. And you had on this bike originally cam cover, sprocket cover, rocker boxes, and primary cover was all chrome.
Yes.
And during the rebuild, you elected to unchrome them. And you guys have probably heard me on my channel over here, Badmouth Chrome. I didn't make you do that, nor could I.
No.
What was the deal on that? I mean,
well, for one thing, right there, I had a small, little, tiny oil leak that I couldn't get to stop. So I know that plating isn't level on the mating surface. So you didn't like it, and I was in agreement. Let's do it. And you waited on him to do it. What else can I say other than let's do it?
Okay, well that's good. You know, and the other issue we had was this rocker box cap was leaking over here. Oh, that's hot. And it was chrome, and the chrome was starting to peel off around the outside. And there was a little bit of chrome actually into the bore on this thing. And I thought that maybe that flaking chrome or the seam between the chrome and the aluminum was interfering with the O-ring. So anyway, he got these unchrome, or these might be different ones.
These are different ones.
These are different ones.
This is a different set because the chrome ones hadn't been stripped.
Yeah.
And just in case the bore wasn't good on this rocker box, I got this other set. And these were just dirty aluminum. They had to be polished, and this had to be polished. But this is stripped, so there is a difference. See the...
Well, you know, and I think a lot of that had, and I was noticing that too, because this polished up nicer than this. And I think it has to do with the particular alloy the aluminum is made out of. Not all aluminum is the same. But yeah, this probably could be gotten to shine like this. And with aluminum, what I've noticed is it's just a matter of how long you're willing to sit in front of the buffing wheel and buff them. I mean, you know, a guy could, getting something polished is as expensive as getting a chrome, and a guy could easily spend hours just polishing away over here. And you know, you're right about the oil leak. When I was testing the engine, it leaked a little bit right in here too, and the transfer passage from the cam cover to the crankcase is right in here, and the wall thickness is very, very thin. And I believe that you know, somebody hit it with the buffing wheel during the course of chroming or whatever, and damaged that surface. But anyway, put it on a surface plate, lapped it all in, and it's not leaking right now. I usually put these together dry, but I did put gasket sealer on this just in case, and it's had a couple of 3 miles on it, not a lot of miles, but Anyway, it ain't leaking. Initially, when it was leaking, I was just doing that thing I do where I spin the flywheels, just with my fingers. And just that little bit of rotation was enough to get it to leak here. So it would have leaked like a sieve had the engine been running. But yeah, it's been sitting in my shop for, I don't know, several days after it's been driven the first time. There's no drops on the floor, nothing's leaking on it. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. I think Gary's happy with the too.
Yep.
Great.
I'm definitely happy.
Cool, man. Anyway, that's about all I got for you. I had, like I say, just those few questions. And got anything you want to add?
Read about this guy. I found him years ago, and when I found this and decided to do the motor, I went to looking for him again, and I'm sure there's people out there that do what Gary does. He does everything in-house. You can't beat it when someone does that, but those people are hard to find. And he told his story of how he took mismatched parts and made a bike and made it run well. So, and another statement that was there, that I build bikes to ride. That says a whole lot about someone's attitude and the way they're going to do something.
Well, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, man. Tune in for the next one. We'll see you later. Bye. Thanks.
All right.
Just a quick reminder. You can help support and grow this channel, first of all and most importantly, by hitting that subscribe button. So if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to do a little more, join me on Patreon. Links down below. So go ahead and join me on Patreon if you feel so inclined. And finally, coffee cups, stickers, and gas tank covers are available. This is a new design coffee cup. I like the old ones, but I like these new ones even better. And to go along with the new design coffee cup, there is a new design sticker. Links will be provided in the description down below. Coffee cups and stickers are included with the Patreon membership. And thank you all ever so much for watching these videos. I really appreciate it. Bye.